Hello my friends and welcome back to Italy, a place to love YouTube channel. Now today, as usual, on Thursday, I'm making my video about expat expectations. Okay, so what I'm doing usually, generally, I go on a Facebook group which is called Expat Living in Italy. I will actually recommend to everyone who has this expectation to relocate or to buy or to invest in Italy, for example, to join this group on Facebook because there are plenty of interesting information to follow and that can help you as well to understand how to move in the future. Now, today's video I will probably divide it in two parts because I found a very interesting post, but there are a good amount of comments and it could be a bit too long, so the video. So maybe around 20-25 minutes. If it's going longer, I'll stop and then I'll make the second part, just because I want to read all the comments under this very interesting post. Okay, so let's enter into the video and let's read the post of this guy who actually made a very good point. Okay, let's start. Ciao everyone. Ciao, come stai? Hello everyone. I'm in the early stages of exploring buying a property in Italy and I'd love to learn from your experience. Actually, the best is always to learn from someone's experience. For those who you have been through the journey, first question is, what was your main concern about buying in Italy, particularly in the early stages when you were just starting to explore the idea? Then the second question is, how did you handle the financial side? Did you use an Italian bank, your home bank, or savings? Any tips on this, for example, he's asking, actually, right? Then third, what surprise, good or bad, did you experience that you wish you would have known about before? Okay, this is another very interesting point, because it's always better to avoid surprises. I mean, nobody wants, in particular, if they are bad surprises. Now, I would be especially grateful to hear from people who have bought in the last few years. Thank you in advance for sharing your experience. Okay, so let's start reading the comments under this post. Now here I have to make name and surname of this person because she's promoting, I guess, yeah, she's a woman. She's promoting a legal guide on how to buy a property in Italy. This is the first post, the first comment. So, hello. If it can be of help, I've prepared a legal guide that covers everything you need to know and the key things to watch out for when buying a house in Italy. You can read it here. So, now, she probably has a website which is called with her name and surname, olgapalma.com. Now, I spell it olgapalma.com, and she wrote a comprehensive legal guide on how to buy a property in Italy. So, olgapalma.com. I didn't open this link, but I will probably do, because anyway, it could be an interesting video, for example, in the future, if I consider that the guide is well done, why not to make a video about it, for example, and to promote someone else's service, why not? I mean, I have nothing against, actually, if I always find someone who is giving better recommendation than me, always trying to help someone else. Okay, someone said this, actually the writer of the post said this is great resource, thank you very much, Olga. And then you are very welcome, blah blah blah. Okay, now let's go to the following comment under the post. They're all quite very interesting, so it's worth it to read and to understand the dynamics, what happened and what didn't happen. Now, someone said, we had an awful experience from a very close friend. Interesting. Who is a realtor, and we're getting absolutely screwed. So they were screwed by a realtor that was actually a friend. So also it's important to be aware. And an attorney saved us. Now, attorney is a solicitor, you all know anyway. But anyway, I'd say there are these three figures that for me are the same, like attorney, solicitor, or notary. For me, they all belong to the same group, okay? We might call it in a different way, but for example, I always like to refer to a notary more than an attorney or a solicitor, but any of these figures is the one that can help you while purchasing or thinking about purchasing. Since then, she has helped other family and friends of mine buying in Italy. If you want her info, I'm happy to send it through a DM and so on. Then someone is asking, oh no, what happened? And now she replied, who wrote this comment, and say, gosh, very long story. Actually, the guy who posted the post said, what happened? And now this person who wrote the comment says, gosh, long story. Now, they put a sneaky phrase in the contract that was really impossible to know what was unless you are an attorney or solicitor. That basically, even if there were skeletons in the closet, we had to buy. It was a hotel and the attorney got us out of it, but we still had to give part of the deposit. It was a mess. Okay, so this is basically the answer from the person who wrote the comment. Then, what would you do differently if you were to start over? Again, the guy who wrote the post. What would you do differently if you were to start over? Because he wants to understand what to do. And this person who wrote the comment said, get an attorney from the very beginning. Now, get a solicitor, notary, attorney from the very beginning. Realtors don't seem to always have both parties' best interest in mind. And I totally agree anyway with this answer, let me say. Then someone else is replying to this comment. Now, I want an attorney, this is great, I have been looking at apartments and homes around the Lecce area and I've had no luck with a couple attorneys. Okay, now, I knew they didn't know what you were doing, so I stopped them right. I stopped it right then. I'm still kind of house shopping, but I could sure use a good reference of someone I could trust. Thank you. And then who wrote the comment anyway, send a DM and so on. Okay, so basically these were the answer to that comment. Now let's go into another very interesting comment under the post. Now, we are American. We bought a property late last year. Primary concern was where, what region, what city, etc. We choose Abruzzo because of the 7% retirement income tax scheme, which actually many people are asking for, are looking for, the 7% retirement scheme, but also because we visited friends there and we thought it was perfect for us also to buy, to purchase a property in Abruzzo. So we are talking about Abruzzo. These are people who want, this is someone who was looking for a place where to live. For example, not to make a business, not to rent. We didn't want a touristy spot. So they were looking for a place like a bit like me, not touristic, just quite easy life. For the purchase, we had a lot of equity in our house here in the US, so we refinanced our loan and took out the money for the purchase here in Italy. We transferred that money to currencies direct and converted to euros. Then transferred the funds to the notary when the sale was completed. We used a third party, David Benton, of a home in Italy. Now I don't know this channel probably. Anyway, he's run by this guy called David Benton. I will open myself, I will investigate, and his channel is called A Home in Italy. So it's interesting, it could be helpful for you anyway to find the property, and anyway, any advice to do the right step is welcome. Let me say, to complete the sale, and it went through without a hitch. They also helped us set up the utilities, so it seems like this David Benton helped them so much. So then we found the property after a couple of years of looking. So this is interesting. It took them a couple of years to find the property they were looking for, so it haven't been a kind of very straightforward, very quick process, let me say. So it might take time, for example, to find a place. That's what I always recommend, to not rush, in particular when you're not Italian, in particular when you're not familiar with the location. So take time, don't rush to buy. I'm sure you will find the best opportunity to make your dreams come true. If your dream is to move to Italy, if your dream is to buy in Italy, if you take your time and no rush, I'm sure you will get what you're looking for, and even at the best price, let me say. Let's say. So they also happen. We found the property after a couple of years of looking via his website and videos. So I still recommend to open his channel, to have a look to his channel, David Benton of A Home in Italy. Because if this person had been so grateful to this guy, means probably he's doing a good job. Anyway, subscribe to his Patreon site allowed us to be the first in line for the property after he posted the video. Okay, probably he's putting on sale, he's making videos about properties for sale. Probably many of you know him. Maybe if write down in the comment section if you think he's a good one, he's giving a good service or not, because I don't know, I'm just reading the comment here. So help me by give me a recommendation if you know about this guy. Then subscribing to his Patreon after he posted the video. Good luck on your search. Okay, then the guy who wrote the post said, "Thanks so much for sharing with so many amazing regions to choose from. How did you start your searching process?" And anyway, someone just who talked about this David Benton didn't reply, but someone else replied by saying, "Oh, I love David and I love A Home in Italy," so this channel that I will probably follow. Now, let me read another interesting comment which had a good amount of answers under his comment. Now, as an older adult American, my main concern will not be in buying, but in the ability to sell. So he's opening, for example, a new window. We are all different, we all have different expectations. So, for example, he say, but in the ability to sell. Now, he's talking about properties in Italy. property here is not like in the US. Things can stay on the market for years. I agree. And neither does property appreciate like it does in the United States. And I agree even with this, because it's a particular market, the Italian market. Maybe I should make a video, but I already covered this topic, I think, in my previous videos about the Italian market, what do I think, but maybe I should give a better, I should maybe investigate a bit more and talking about this topic anyway, about the value of the property, if it's able to resell it, if it's appreciating the value. It could be by many different reasons why the property might go up or might lose the value. So there are so many things to consider that it's not very easy. Anyway, obviously there are some markets which are appreciating and the value is increasing, and some markets which are not. But anyway, this is a topic that I have to cover. I will probably cover soon. I already took some notes, in particular about luxury properties, okay? But obviously luxury properties are not for everyone, so this is another topic. I'd be afraid of saddling my kids, so he's concerned, for example, even my grandkids, with something like that, with something like, for example, is losing value. That's what he's saying. I am moving into a place for 500. Now, I cannot really understand. He said for 500, let's keep reading. And I can pretty much do what I want with it within reason. Probably he's talking about renting. Okay, yes, I guess. So, this person didn't buy in Italy, but is renting. I know it's the penchant of Americans to buy, but for me, renting will work right now. So, this person, and I cannot disagree, obviously, with someone who might consider, says, no, I'd rather rent instead of buying. Why not? This is an option. This is always a good option. Anyway, who wrote the post reply to this comment and say that's such an interesting perspective. I never even thought of that. So he never even thought about renting, for example, which is a opportunity, is a chance anyway. It's another way. It's another opportunity. Were you originally considering buying? No, actually, not where. The question is if he was considering of buying, not where he was considering. And then who wrote the comment said, I was and I still could, but for now I'm good. The apartment is in a hilltop village near Rome. I can take my time and I see how it is for a while. So basically this is another good option that I could recommend, for example, to everyone. So don't rush to buy a property. Maybe find a place where to rent, because anyway to rent gives the same opportunities, for example, even to apply for permesso di soggiorno. So it's enough to have a contract and then it's possible to apply for a longer visa, because anyway, we know American can stay in, for example, I'm referring now to Americans, or British who need visas, for example, and they can stay up to 90 days without visa. Then they have to come back and so on. We can DM to discuss further if you'd like. So this guy, and then send you a DM and so on. Then someone else saying, agreed, I'm looking for a rental as well, for example. Then another one say, oh, I agree with this. While we are waiting to buy rent options, we consider a purchase a sunk cost. For example, someone might consider a purchasing like a loss. We do consider it an asset which can be resold easily. We do too consider an asset which can be resold easily. Now I did now, and out of curiosity, do you factor in how the place will be dealt within the future years? That's my issue concern, for example. Of course, that's anyway, that's a big concern. Then here, say, do you mean if we would sell it or keep it in the family? We don't anticipate living in Italy for more than 20 years from now. At that point, we would expect our adult kids to decide if they want to keep it or sell it, likely a loss, or did you mean something else? Let me say now here, let's say that basically here we are discussing about, again, the potential of the property, so if it's resellable or if it's not resellable. I would recommend, for example, if your intention is to buy in Italy, don't buy with the intention to resell it and to make profit straight away. Take it more as a long-term investment. For me, this is my recommendation. Long-term, for me, in my understanding, even if 5 years for me is a mid-term investing, but I would already consider kind of long. I would say 5, 10, 15, 20 years investment. Then obviously if you are already in a retiring age, you cannot think about 20 years yourself as an investment. Let's say you may use this property to live, to enjoy yourself and so on, but then what make a good point here, leave your kids or your grandchildren then to decide in the future what to do with this property. And I totally agree. Again, if I want to make an investment opportunity, there are other things, for example, that I would consider. I would investigate better the market, better the potential, how's the global financial situation, for example. At the moment, because I see in most of the countries the property market overrated a bit everywhere, from the States to Italy to Ireland to Germany. So would I enter now if it's just an investment? As an investment, me personally, no, I would never enter. I would enter if it's an investment to rent out, for example, that yes, but to resell it, it's a kind of long time investment, 5, 10, 15, 20 years. This is my understanding. So I think I just meant estate planning. Then let me see one more answer to this comment. So in Italy the law is the property goes to the children. Yes, obviously, if we are talking about someone who is in his age already, and so then in the future the property has to be considered who is gonna look after this property, for example, after me, after you, after anyone, so goes to the children. I understand it is nearly impossible for any other arrangement to be made, and selling the property requires approval from all heirs, making many purchases very complicated and slow. Now, I don't know abroad, out of Italy, let me say, but here in Italy, when a property goes under the will, and so then goes to the children, or for example to the grandchildren or nephews, whoever, so to resell this property you need to have the approval of all the heirs. And this could be, for example, could complicate the sale, for example. Even if you want to buy now and the property is under a will, and then there is an approval from it, that may slow down the sale of the property. So, but this through the attorney, through the solicitor and the notary, you'll find out anyway. Alright, then making many purchases very complicated and slow, and someone replied, very true. Now, let's read another comment. As a busy person, investing and getting return was all I ever wanted, so I could still retain my job. Although I never believed at first, but after my payout of 1 BTC, sorry, I'm reading this comment, I don't need any more evidence. So help me maybe to understand this, but the moment I see 1 BTC, we all know what he's talking about. I think this could be just nobody reply. So investing and getting return. So return was all I ever wanted. So I could still retain my job. Although so it's advertising anyway, probably something. But someone else saying BTC. We all know what's BTC. Then following, same boat, whatever. And then let me see now one more comment. Okay, okay. So I'd say that this video is going to be quite long because there are so many interesting answers and comments to this post. Now I will read this comment because it's also very interesting. Then if I see that the video is going too long, I will make a second part